I'm Turk Strongman, current resident at Mind Voltage. Please pardon the black screen. My camera is malfunctioning. Microphone still works. So here we are, continuing our way through. LW deLaurance is the master key. We are in Unit 3, Lesson 18, Thought Control. Before continuing, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Activate the notification bell feature at the same time. Give the video a thumb up. Take note of the PayPal information in the description area below this window. In our prior video, we ended with the paragraph, when a man gets into an atmosphere like this, he feels it to be congenial. Very often, too, such an attitude results in the man feeling his interest in his present business grow to such an extent that it ceases to be distasteful. New points of view reveal possibilities in the business he never thought to exist. He sees vistas of further possibilities until the life he hankered for sinks further and further into the background. He is at home, he has found himself, his thought world is congenial. Continuing now, in Thought Control, same chapter, Mental Attitude. If you were to ask a friend, what do twice 2 and a half make? He would probably hesitate before replying. If you were to add to your query, now be careful how you reply, his hesitancy would be more pronounced. Queries stated in the above manner and all kinds of conundrums and catches illustrate that we approach a subject with a certain mental attitude. Tell a man a thing is difficult, and you make it difficult for him. Tell him it is easy, and you make it easier for him. Much, of course, depends upon your manner, as shown above, in making your statements. In approaching any new study or in undertaking any new task, it is well to understand your mental attitude beforehand. If you think the study or undertaking difficult, you will certainly make it more difficult of attainment. For when we think anything difficult, we put a bar on our power that greatly hinders progress. Cases are on record where new systems of working have been introduced into offices, systems with a certain amount of complexity, and the clerks have made slow progress with them simply because they offered something strange, something difficult. Weeks have elapsed before the staff thoroughly grasped the system, and instances are related where members of the staff have become ill from worry in their efforts to grapple with the new conditions. Now note this. Where it has been necessary to engage temporary clerks, it has been noticed that they have mastered the system in a much shorter time than the permanent clerks. Why? Simply because the temporary clerks, approached the work with a different mental attitude. They knew something of the relational difficulty between the old and the new system. They saw the work had to be done in a certain way, and they quickly mastered this way. A friend of the author, a professor of music, was very strict with regard to his pupil's mental attitude. He would never allow a pupil to play a solo or to say that a solo or study was difficult. He would make the pupil point out the difficult passage, and he would carefully analyze it note by note until he made the pupil play it. He would tell the pupil not to worry because he could not play the passage up to time. That will come with practice, he would say. And he said it in such a confident note that his pupil believed him and was inspired to practice until success crowned his efforts. Teachers have often noticed that when a number of their pupils have failed to answer a question, a verbal question, the power of the other scholars to reply has been slight. They look on the question, as a sort of conundrum which is hopeless to answer, and they therefore give up the attempt. 2 students will enter an examination room. The one will rapidly glance at his paper and put it down disgusted. It's difficult. The other will read each question carefully and calmly and will finally conclude the paper is possible. Which student is likely to pass? Every student of thought control and mental discipline will realize that it is important, while recognizing the difficulty of a subject, to put his thought out of the mind at once. Refuse to acknowledge its difficulty and you'll make the subject easier for you to grasp. The fact is, very few exert anything like the power of or ability that they possess. They are like the traveler who suddenly finds a high wall closing his path. I can never get over that. I'll have to go back, he says. As he turns to retrace his steps, he sees a bull or a wild animal coming tearing along towards him. He alters his tone now. I must get over that wall, he says. He makes a desperate attempt and succeeds in getting over the wall. If you wish to succeed in anything, remember that no effort is ever lost. Every act, every attempt is registered in the neural paths of the brain, and each successive act or attempt will deepen and broaden these paths, giving greater facility each time. You may not be able to see this for a time any more than a musician can tell the finer gradations of tone which no human ear can detect. But if you persevere, you will find that facility will come. We'll end there. The next part in thought control is the part played by imagination. It begins with a butcher, while hanging up a heavy piece of metal, slipped and the hook pierced his arm. He was in terrible agony and could barely suffer himself to be touched. Yet when the arm was examined, it was found uninjured, the hook having only pierced his coat sleeve. Such is the power of imagination. Such is the power of thought. We'll continue with that in the next video. Remember, subscribe, get notified, like, share, and note the PayPal donation by PayPal information in the description area. I'm Turk Strongman, current resident at Mindfold. See you in the next video.